Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Are you able to share?
Oh, okay. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Elisabetta Balconi, and I'm very glad to be here with you today. And thanks, Johan, for your speech. It was very, very inspiring, and we are on the same page on many, many topics that I'm gonna go through in a bit. I'm an independent creative director and experienced designer, and I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to walk through my experience here today. And yeah, we're going to talk about designing experiences, and in particular, digital experiences. That is what I do. I worked for a lot of years, actually, in digital agencies and digital studios. That means advertising agencies such as Leo Burnett and KQA, and communication and design studios such as Lowe. That is my latest agency job before deciding to become a freelancer. And here in these agencies, I worked with a team of people, a team of creative people that were on the same page in order to create something fun and something meaningful, of course. And together, as a cohesive team, what we did was, for example, a lot of stuff on a daily basis. For example, art direction, of course, and creative direction, and UI design, and UX design, and then interaction design and motion design. So all these activities were involved on a daily basis in each and every project that we had to deal with. So in this complex set, you can imagine, you just can imagine the importance of having a strong team, a cohesive team that works together on the same page, towards the same direction, to create a narrative, and as Johan would say, and then a story. And our goal here with all these skills and on our daily job was to create something that connected with people, so something that was meaningful, that gives personal significance. And these are just some of a couple of examples of the stuff we did, just to show you what's the kind of projects that I worked on. And here, for example, you see a project that we did for a fashion brand that wanted another way and a more interesting way to show a collection of products. So instead of just showing products, we decided to show a universe, a story, a world where these products, of course, lived, but there was something more to see than just what the brand wanted to sell. And in the same way, also this project represents something like that. So this is an immersive experience, as the one before, that tells a story and sets a narrative around a certain product. So, for example, here the product, of course, is a sneaker, but the story was to let artists that are the name that you're seeing on the right side of the screen tell their own story about that sneakers. So this website was a collection of artworks that these people made, these talented people made, in order to create storytelling about the product. And then, yeah, we did a lot of other things, something more standard, if you can call it that. For example, e-commerce, and also projects related to art. For example, here the client was also a brand, was also a fashion brand, a luxury brand, but they wanted to create something related to their photographers and something related to an exhibition that was going on. So yeah, you see that the markets are very diverse. And back in the days, I worked on something about technology, something about art and corporate social responsibility. So really, I had a lot of fun, I have to say. And as Johan was saying, I think that in these projects, every person involved as a team was bringing ideas, was bringing discussion and therefore value to the project, no matter the role. So you saw earlier that we were seeing a lot of skills, and each and every one of them was represented by a person in the agency. But I really believe that design is a deep dive approach, and it tackles every nuance. So you really need to have a good team and a strong team in order to create something that is meaningful. And in our case, an experience that is memorable and surprising, and it is worth sharing. So I know that here today there are a lot of people coming from a lot of different backgrounds, and they want maybe to, are working already or want to work in many different fields, but user experience is in every part of the project. So as I like to say, we are all designers, no matter the role, no matter the market, no matter the project, but we are all designers, and each professional role, each professional skill contributes to create a well-orchestrated ensemble. And yeah, today I'm gonna talk to you about our director's point of view. I'm an art director, and I'm not gonna talk to you about a project that I worked on in agencies, but today I'm here to talk to you about a personal project that I created at the end of last year, just before deciding to becoming a freelance. Of course, I will show you what's the designer's point of view, but inside a broader approach that is of course the process of design. So and it tackles every kind of problems, and it tackles every kind of questions, and it involves every figure, every professional figure in the team and in the process. So for example, one question that designers and UX designers and UI designers, motion designers all have in common is, for example, when I'm starting a project from scratch, I ask myself, the team asks itself, what should the user see? What should the user experience? What do I want to tell? How do I want to tell it? And so the whole team, the whole team has questions like this, and we have to be very cohesive and very well organized to, of course, to go in the same direction. So the personal project that I chose to show you about, to show you, is this photography and design project that was born from my trips to Scotland over the years, and it's something that I wanted to create just after the end of this year, to create something that could really speak for me and for my job, and that truly represented me as a professional. And so I missed very much the landscapes of Scotland and these rugged and gloomy and yet mesmerizing landscapes. And I wanted a way to create something that reminded people of the feeling that I had while I was being there. So this is why I came up with this project. And the main reason is that after 13 years in this agency that you just saw, I just started out as a freelancer, and this project could really help me to have a clear idea of how exactly present myself and my work, And this can be very difficult at first, because you think about job titles, descriptions, and so on, but it's like a void container, right? What you really want to say is what you do, what you like to do, what your interests are. So I had the necessity to create something that would help me speak for myself. And of course, in order to support my official portfolio, my agency portfolio. And so I think you could say it's like a business card, right? It basically brings into play all of my skills, all of my professional skills, and it definitely helped me define what kind of professional I am and what my interests are. And so, of course, it could help also other people, potential clients that want to work with me, to understand and to have a clear idea of how I can help, of course. And yeah, last but not least, I really have a lot of fun experimenting and play around and stay up to date with software. So it was really a great idea that it came up to in these fraught times. And I really love these quotes by Simon Dixon and Apoorva Baxi, that are the founders of an agency that I really admire, that is Dixon Baxi. And when I started this project, the big question, the huge question that I had was, how can I leave a mark? How can I create connection with people? How can my story be able to move people, to create connection, to be meaningful? And if you think about this emotional connection that you can have with people, is what really encourages people to go along with your experience. So, for example, to get to the end of a movie or the end of a commercial, or for example, talking about digital experience like mine, to go on and see the site and enjoy the website. Otherwise, people would leave. And for example, if you just think for one moment, how many times did you happen to download an app and delete it after 3 seconds that you have it on your phone? Or for example, the same thing with the website or with the product. So everything must give you some feelings, to create an emotional connection with you. Otherwise, it's just a void container. And this quote is something that I really have to keep in mind when designing, be it something personal or something that you create in your job, in your agency job, for example, or in your official job. And so let's talk about the creative process a little bit. So the first thing that you usually do when you're starting something from scratch, of course, the first things is setting the idea, the main idea, and the goals of the project. So, for example, what do I want to say? Why do I feel the urge to do this project? And in this project about Scotland, it was the feeling that I had related to those memories. I wanted to relive those memories again, and it's like always to. Of course, in this time that we cannot travel, I was trying to recall my feelings. And of course, the goal of the project was to simply share these places with other people, share my experience, share my vision, and of course, share my feelings. And so when you set the idea and set the main goals, what you do is the conflicts and broad direction part. So the questions here are, how does the project have to look like? And what is the look and feel that you have in mind when thinking about the story that you want to tell? So the story, you have the idea now. You for sure know what story to tell, but you have to envision how it looks like, how it is, the feeling of the story, visually speaking. And so consequently, what are the design choices that you will make in order to convey your idea? and so in general, what is the overall mood of the project. And to define all those things and to start from a blank page, you start, or at least I usually start with by doing mood boards, and mood boards are very helpful, because they give you the opportunity to make an exploration. So this at this point, it's like a very opening. It's a very open approach. You see what you like around, you collect ideas, you collect screenshots and projects from other, and basically what catches your eye. And that could be a great starting point for your idea, for example. So I try to design these huge digital mood boards where I collect everything that I like in order to start thinking about my project and my story. And after that, for example, speaking about this project in particular, photography had a very prominent place in all the project, because I had to create a selection, of course, of all my trips, and I had to do post-production of these images. So, for example, I decided to shoot in black and white because I really wanted to focus not on colors. So I wanted to take out colors and focus on shapes and materials and clouds and fog, because it was really important for my story to highlight those particulars, those elements in my pictures. So I wanted to show the dark side, the gloomy side, the bad weather, the bad weather of Scotland, of those places. And so this design choice, for example, this design choice that was to shoot black and white pictures and then post-produce in order to, for example, highlight the contrast. This was one of the first design choices that I made in order to create my story. So this was really, really important. And last but not least, the order that I wanted to give to my pictures, because envisioning a narrative, envisioning a story, it was really important to focus on what pictures to show first, and then what is the right sequence of images that I have to show in order to really fit within my story. And of course, after defining the mood, the look and feel of photography, I had to deal with color palette and typography. So what is the right color palette to go along with those kind of photography, with those kind of pictures? And for example, the typography as well had an important role. So as you see here in these screens, I kept on doing in creating this exploration, these little tries, these little tentatives in order to understand what I really like. For example, typography had a very fundamental part, because as in the same way that I gave a look and feel to the photography part, I also had to decide what was the right typography in order to fit within my story. So, for example, I could spend days on typography in my work, because I really love to make a lot of layouts, playing around, experiments. But for example, as in photography, I was focusing on rough shapes and contrast. I really wanted to do the same with typography. So, for example, the central one that is a little bit chunky, is a little softer, wouldn't work for me, because I would really love to find a typography that really went along with the photography part. And another, and I would say maybe the most important part, as Johan also was saying, is user interaction. So we see that the most important thing in any experience is how people interact with it. So remember the void container, right? So you have to give something to people. You have to create the element of surprise. You have to give a clear vision of how people have to interact with your experience. So, for example, the questions here were, for me, were what will people see first in terms of hierarchy, and what is the first thing that maybe people will interact with, and how. So how should I showcase content to them, in which order, and what are my priorities in order to show an interface, some photography. So what is the priority, and what is the better way, so also in terms of user interaction, to reflect and to showcase my storytelling, my personal storytelling. And of course, here, for example, you see that I created these little MVPs, so these little tentatives that would really help me find the right way. So I designed, and then I prototyped, and then I went back to design, and then I made some tweaks, because when I saw things live, I didn't really like them. So I went back a few steps and had an overall vision of the project, and this helped me very much in defining what the story is along with the way I wanted to represent it. And the last thing that I want to walk you through is the motion design and choreography part. I would say that this is really the most important thing. And nowadays, our screens allow for richer and more complex animations and experiences. So the layout part is almost is important, of course, but the motion design part and the choreography part is, I think, is really unavoidable, and is really maybe it's more important nowadays than the static layouts, you know. And so motion design and choreography is something that people really have to take into consideration to create a complete experience. So, for example, how should things move? How should things together move? For example, in a choreography, multiple elements of the interface, how should they move? And so I created these little prototypes to think about that, and I decided to take into consideration just the things that I tried and that resonated with me. And as you see in these screens, there's a lot of difference between what you see as things that is not moving. So, for example, as a static layout that you do in design softwares, versus something like this that is moving, that is creating an atmosphere. And that's because motion, that is the most important thing, is seductive, right? As Johan was saying, is something that creates the element of surprise, something that gives you the sensation of not knowing, what's coming next. So that is the element of surprise. And of course, in a digital experience, motion draws our attention on one point that we want to stress out in that moment, in that specific moment. And another really important thing is that motion can establish tone, can establish narrative, can establish hierarchy. So really, having done this prototyping part, it was really, really, really important for me to really understand how the story went along with my designs. And yeah, I think that's all, because I basically shown you what could be all the phases of designing an experience, and I hope that this can help you. And that's Twitter. So if you want to contact me, that's the way. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.